Okay, we are rolling. Champions of Champions boxing talk here. Well, Tyson Fury is going to fight tomorrow on BT Sports Live. Carl Frampton is also going to fight. But I must admit, as Hatman said in one of his videos just now, I've completely forgotten about Carl Frampton among this melee of absolute nonsense, to be honest with you. Tyson Fury's going to win. I don't even have to name the opponent, do I? I think he's going to win. Unless that guy in there lands a money shot, which is possible, Tyson Fury is going to win this. And he's going to do it when he feels like it, like the last fight, I believe. He looks leaner this time. 256 pounds, I believe. But the next training camp, I think, is where we will see Tyson Fury even fitter still, because that will be his third training camp. So slowly but surely, he's getting back into shape in terms of his body. And generally, when somebody's looking after themselves body-wise, the mentality follows. So it seems like he may be in a good place at the moment. And a good place for Tyson Fury is always where there's a load of nonsense. That's what he thrives at. And of course, in the weigh-in, John Fury and Deontay Wilder, they had, the whole Fury and Wilder bunch, it's all a build-up. They were going back and forth at each other. Some of it was tongue-in-cheek. There's always that between these two characters. But it would be the absolute letdown of the century if after the fight tomorrow night, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder did not get in the ring together and announce their fight. That would be the ultimate anticlimax, wouldn't it? Because I think this is already a Frank Warren very smart promotion. I think Eddie Hearn has underestimated Frank Warren somewhat. Frank Warren's been in the game a long time. I believe that Team Joshua didn't in a million years think that they were going to pull the rug from underneath Anthony Joshua's feet and take this fight. Because if Tyson Fury does fight Deontay Wilder, and he's got a fight tomorrow, and yet I'm talking about Deontay Wilder, but sort of, this guy has just become so insignificant amongst all this stuff. Now, I hope that hasn't got to Tyson Fury's preparation, because he still needs to do what he needs to do. But I think he will do it. He's so much bigger, so much more range. I mean, look at Derek Chisora v Tyson Fury. I think if you don't really have the size to impose yourself against Fury, you're going to struggle. He's probably quicker than this guy. He's bigger than this guy. He has a longer reach than this guy. More experienced at heavyweight, contendership than this guy. It all points to a win. But, again, as I said, Tyson Fury taking Deontay Wilder on within his first 3 fights back. That sounds like when Muhammad Ali left prison. Within a couple of fights, he was fighting Joe Frazier. Now, Muhammad Ali lost, but by God, he got a lot of credit for it, right? Tyson Fury, if this fight is signed, even if he loses, he's got an excuse. I think Hearn and Joshua are running out of excuses on their end, right? I do agree with Anthony Joshua being the A side. Deontay Wilder has to come to him, right? But also the money was staggering, apparently. I don't know the true facts, but it was $80 million. And it's not signed. So when people say dollars, if it makes dollars, it makes sense. Well, then the only reason then, because the dollars was certainly there, that the fight hasn't happened is somebody doesn't want to take it yet. And let me tell you something, when someone doesn't want to take the fight, if you see the B side that obviously wants the fight, there's only the A side then you can look at. Fights only happen if the A side agree. Trust me on that. The A side is the king on the chessboard. They say when, how, if, tomorrow, today, you name it, you blame it. It's all on the A side. It is all on the A side. Now, if the B side doesn't want to travel, they're not going to get the fight. Right? But here, Tyson Fury is not the name in terms of being box office that Anthony Joshua is. But the general public don't really know the equations of boxing as me and you do right now. They're not thinking, oh, the reason AJ's not fighting Deontay Wilder is because Deontay Wilder is not coming to the UK. They're just thinking, oh my God, look at Tyson Fury. He's willing to go to the United States and fight Deontay Wilder. What's wrong with my hero, Anthony Joshua? He's starting to put doubts in his fan base. And Anthony Joshua's fan base, let's be honest, is very, very narrow-minded. What they know about boxing, a lot of them, you could write it down on a pin. Literally. I've been in bars and I've seen Anthony Joshua fights. I've booked Anthony Joshua fights on Sky, Box Office and so forth. And honest to God, if you say to them, King Kong v Anthony Joshua, they'll say Anthony Joshua is going to win in one round. They were absolutely shocked, some of them, that Klitschko gave Anthony Joshua such a fight. And you look at these people and you think, for God's sake, Klitschko is a multi-world champion with God knows 65 wins to his name, one of the best knockout ratios in history. And you guys think that Anthony Joshua was just going to blow him over, and now you're shocked that he didn't. Honest, this is the sort of people we're talking about, right? We are not talking about boxing experts. Hatman has just done a video saying why Anthony Joshua got more credit than Tyson Fury for his victory over Klitschko, right? I'm talking about everything but the fight, aren't I? Because I just think the fight is just such a drop-in. It's a sideshow. The fight is a sideshow, right? The real issue is what's going to happen in terms of the dramatics and what's going to be announced. But responding a little bit to Hatman's, shall we say, credit v credit. Who gave Anthony Joshua more credit? I didn't. I certainly didn't. Yes, it was an entertaining fight, but I didn't give him more credit for the win. Number one, Anthony Joshua was at home. Number two, Vladimir Klitschko was 18 months older, coming off a layoff and coming off a loss, right? And he gave Anthony Joshua all he could handle. Entertaining for my eyes, well, to an extent, because, you see, I'm a boxing fan. I can see a stylish victory and appreciate it, and I can see a war as appreciate it. But you see, the general public, a lot of them don't know boxing, so they're going to only appreciate the war. But when you ask me, Anthony Joshua got more credit. From who? From who? Some women that fancy him in the corner of the bat? No, that doesn't count. Now, if you get credit from, I don't know, Bert Sugar from heaven, God bless him. Yes. You know, of course, broadcasters need entertaining fights, but I'm just looking at it as a purist. Tyson Fury was away from home. It was a primer, Klitschko. And let's face it, Fury never looked in trouble for a second in that fight. He made Klitschko desperate, completely nullified Klitschko. Completely. Anthony Joshua, it was touch and go. It was hearts in your mouth stuff. We didn't really know whether he could come out victorious or not. Tyson Fury's win was greater than Anthony Joshua's. Let's just put that to bed, right? I don't care who likes Anthony Joshua or who likes Tyson Fury. Stop twisting it. It was so clear, the Fury victory. One judge in Germany, where nobody gets their look against Klitschko, gave the fight 10 rounds to 2 to Tyson Fury. That was nothing like the scorecards that I had for the Joshua fight. Let's just be completely down to the facts here, right? And it does count that Fury did do battle, well, not battle, but outbox Klitschko on his second home, his turf virtually. Tyson Fury made a fuss, got into Klitschko's head, took that sponge out the ring, still fought him in that back garden, and beat him there. And beat him, right? Because Klitschko's been knocked out before, right? So it's no surprise. Klitschko was getting knocked out at times during his younger years, right? So Anthony Joshua knocking him out, the knockout causes some sort of memory loss. But before the knockout, that was one heck of a competitive fight. But Tyson Fury did the thing to Klitschko, which Klitschko does to everybody else. He outboxed him, smothered him, made him fight a fight out of his comfort zone. And you put all these things together, whether Tyson Fury goes on from here, who knows, but on those 2 nights, Tyson Fury wins. People say it was a much more boring fight. Yes, you know why? Because Tyson Fury's was so much more one-sided, right? We like entertainment, of course, but the Queensberry rules of boxing, if you measure the rules, look at the rule book, and watch the 2 screens of the fights going on right in front of you, and Tyson Fury's by the rule book is better than Anthony Joshua's. They both wins inevitably, but Tyson Fury's is a much, much cleaner example of how you beat Vladimir Klitschko. And again, a younger Vladimir Klitschko, a less inactive Vladimir Klitschko, a more confident Vladimir Klitschko, might I add. Now, Klitschko's always been confident, but no one's telling me that that was the same guy in the ring with Anthony Joshua, because it wasn't. How could it be? He's 41 at that stage, I think. Now, equally so, Anthony Joshua at that point really hadn't had much elite experience, so it was a good win. But neither had Tyson Fury. So you had 2 sort of inexperienced against elite guy, Vladimir Klitschko. All they had to go off was what they'd seen and what they prepared for. And Fury's come out the best. Does that mean that Tyson Fury beats Joshua? No, not necessarily, but comparing win for win, here I'll give you another example. Pacquiao and Marquez. Now, Pacquiao did have some wins over Marquez that were sort of by the skin of your teeth. Literally. That's if you've got teeth, right? But they were classics. But if somebody asks me who did the best against Marquez, Manny Pacquiao or Floyd Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather did. Floyd Mayweather beat Marquez very cleanly, very smoothly, dropped Marquez, wasn't dropped himself, it wasn't a competitive fight really, and you certainly didn't need a rematch. There was no doubts who won out of Marquez and Floyd Mayweather. So, people trying to go around the houses, no, sometimes it just is what it is. But let me tell you this, a bit like the Klitschko-Joshua fight, Pacquiao-Marquez's were more entertaining, weren't they, than Mayweather's fight with Marquez. But that doesn't mean that, judging by the Queensberry rules of boxing, that somebody has done better than another guy because they both needed, what do they call it? Emergency care after the fight. No, nobody needed emergency care after Mayweather-Marquez. Nobody was knocked out after Mayweather-Marquez. Floyd just completely nullified him and beat him. Tyson Fury completely nullified Klitschko and beat him. Now, Pacquiao and Anthony Joshua, they had competitive fights with those guys. It just is what it is. I'm not saying that Anthony Joshua isn't a very good fighter, and I'm not saying that Manny Pacquiao is not a tremendous fighter, one of the all-time greats. But, of course, let's even flip it. You know, Pacquiao beat Ricky Hatton better than Mayweather did. Right? With Mayweather, it was some competitive rounds in there with Ricky Hatton. I don't care what anyone tells me. Of course, it wasn't competitive with Manny Pacquiao, was it? So Manny gets more credit for that win. See, I'm being fair. I flipped it. Now, on with Christian soldiers. The fight with Fury tomorrow night. It will be announced. I'm absolutely sure of it. What do I see? I don't see Tony Bellew coming out with that Deontay Wilder takes Fury out in 3 rounds. If he does that, Tyson Fury is past it. Right? I think even if Tyson Fury is anything like himself, he's big trouble for Deontay Wilder. And the markability of Deontay Wilder will take a nosedive if Fury beats him. I think, style-wise, if Tyson Fury can be anything like himself, Deontay Wilder would have had a much better chance at beating Anthony Joshua. That I do believe. I just think that Tyson Fury has the tools. I think that Wilder's team has made a big mistake here. If, and I don't really want it to happen because I'm a fan of boxing, if they could pull at the last minute, and I'm their businessman, I would be advising them to do that. As I said, this will be Tyson Fury's 3rd training camp. He's slowly but surely getting fitter. And I said Muhammad Ali fought Joe Frazier within a few fights. Deontay Wilder is not Joe Frazier. He's not. Deontay Wilder, fundamentally, is flawed. Even his fans have to admit that. His power has got him out of trouble, and his speed and his athleticism. But against Gerald Washington, down on the cards. Luis Ortiz, down on them cards, big time. Hurt, right? Inevitably, he got the win. Tyson Fury can do what Luis Ortiz can do and more, if he's in the right frame of mind. He can... When's the last guy Deontay Wilder fought who can fight at orthodox and southpaw, particularly at heavyweight? Deontay Wilder looks confused against orthodox fighters sometimes until he lands that power. But swinging like a madman and leaning forward against Tyson Fury could lead to a possibility where he gets picked off. Picked off true. Because Tyson Fury, he does have hand speed. He has a ring IQ. He has reflexes himself. He has good footwork. He has size to cling on to Deontay Wilder if there are moments of trouble. And he's got the brains to do it. Some of the lower competition that was ahead against Deontay Wilder, Wilder could sort of brush that off and in the end come on strong when he's landing his power shots. The reach advantage, I think, is with Fury. Right? The speed of foot, it's comparable. But of course, the placement for me is better than Fury. So I'm adding up all the equations here. And I'm thinking, Deontay Wilder only does one thing better than Tyson Fury, that's punch. But again, these are big men. If Deontay Wilder is too front foot heavy, Tyson Fury is capable of setting him up. And then, you know the rest. He's still capable of knocking you out, Tyson Fury. Yes, he doesn't hit like Wilder or Joshua. But I just see this being a damaging night for Deontay Wilder. I could be very, very wrong, but I see him being very frustrated by Tyson Fury. Now, people say, well, he will go at Tyson Fury more than Klitschko did. Of course Deontay Wilder will. That's some of his game. But he's also not as blessed in terms of protecting himself and self-perseverance as Klitschko. You have to remember, Deontay Wilder has never been stopped or knocked out. And he's been getting away with things now for a good while. So he's taking these habits in there. Right? What is going to happen when he's asked to switch? The guy he's outboxed is Stavern. Stavern is not Tyson Fury. Right? Even an out-of-shape Tyson Fury is better than an out-of-shape Stavern. So for Tony Bellew to write Tyson Fury off so much, all this is B side doesn't like A side stuff and blue side doesn't like red side. Tony Bellew knows very well this won't be that easy for Deontay Wilder if Tyson Fury turns up in good shape and of good mind. And here's another thing. Do you really think an American crowd will frighten Tyson Fury when he's been to Germany? And people say, well, fighting on the back foot, Tyson Fury could lose close rounds. But what happens? Look at in Canada when Billy Joe Saunders was giving David Lemieux an absolute whipping. If Tyson Fury is winning rounds so clearly, they've no choice but to give him the rounds. It would look stupid otherwise. Look, Klitschko, they give the rounds to Tyson Fury in Germany because they weren't close. Klitschko was throwing no punches. Maybe there was a reason Klitschko wasn't throwing punches. You know, it's easy to think, about caution to the wind. Klitschko's the sort of guy, though, that thinks, I don't want to get knocked out. And I have a theory that if I open up, this guy, although he's not the biggest banger in the world, can land the right shot. So, although Deontay Wilder is more likely to take risks to lay leather on Tyson Fury, he's also far more open to be hit by Tyson Fury than Klitschko was. And here's another question. Is this version of Deontay Wilder really better than that Vladimir Klitschko? I'm not sure fundamentally if he is. Now, people say, well, Deontay Wilder throws from angles and strange places that, the normal orthodox fighter can't read. Well, Tyson Fury is not the ordinary orthodox fighter. I'm not saying that he's Muhammad Ali reborn, but he has confusingness about his own style. So Deontay Wilder has a few things to think about. He might not know what stance Tyson Fury is going to take up next and when he's going to do it. And if Tyson Fury decides to grapple him and lean on him, we've seen this stuff. So, yes, Deontay Wilder can win with his tremendous power, providing he lands it. But to think that this is a walk in the park for Deontay Wilder, I'm not sure. Right now, my mind's with Fury on this. I just see Fury picking him off. And who's to say that Tyson Fury's chin is not a little bit better than the guys that Deontay Wilder has been facing? And as I said, that he has the intelligence to tie up if there's even a worry about him being hurt. Something to think about in all this. And how long have I been rabbiting on? And I really haven't broken down the fight tomorrow night. I see it being a similar situation to his previous fight. Maybe not as much posing, maybe looking more on the game and focus because Wilder is in the crowd, but I do see him stopping the guy and stopping him in the ring, not on the stool. As I say, it could all click in this next training camp as well. He's lost more weight for this camp. I'm expecting him to lose even more for Deontay Wilder's camp. And Tyson Fury is now not having to spend as much time just getting weight off. He's going to be able to sit down now with his team and think strategy. And if I've got a bunch of ideas in my head and you've got Deontay Wilder on this side, Tyson Fury on this side, and you want to trust one guy applying your ideas, Tyson Fury is more flexible to take your ideas on and apply them. I think Deontay Wilder is what he is. He's wild, right? Tyson Fury is a German Shepherd. You can train it to an extent. I know psychologically he seems out there a little bit, but let me just say this. In the ring, he is more disciplined than Joshua and Deontay Wilder. He has game plan to him. I think what you see is what you get with Deontay Wilder. It either works for him or it doesn't. I haven't seen him as such make these changes that many people are saying to me, oh, he's going to do that. Whereabouts? I see the same Deontay Wilder maybe sometimes a better version than before. Yes, I think his jab's improved a little bit, but I still think Fury's jab's better, even when he's pouring with it, right? But Deontay Wilder is a wild wolf. It is what it is. It's only used to being in the wild. You can't suddenly bring it in your house and then say, hey, wolfy guy, you're going to be on pedigree chum now, dog food for life. He'll spit that out and go out and hunt. That's Deontay Wilder. He's predictable to an extent. Tyson Fury, the German Shepherd, you could teach it to catch criminals, sniff out drugs, shake hands, shake paws, sit. These are what Tyson Fury's trainers can do with him. Even though he's mad, or he appears mad at times. Is he really crazy, or is that the persona? I think it's a mixture of both. Deontay Wilder fights like he carries on. Deontay Wilder says some stupid things like Tyson Fury, but the difference is he's less measured. And I think one day, and I think this could be the fight, those wildness and lack of fundamentals will come back to bite him. I've always said that if Lennox Lewis existed in this era, he would have turned Deontay Wilder into Michael Grant. Not saying Tyson Fury was ever Lennox Lewis. I don't think he was on the same level, or is on the same level. But there could be opportunities. Gaping opportunities for Tyson Fury. There's a reason they took this fight. Eddie Hearn and all them lot are saying that Tyson Fury did not want to take tough fights on the comeback. And that's maybe why he didn't sign for Matchroom. Well, if that's true, why is he fighting Deontay Wilder within his third fight back? That just makes no sense. So I haven't really got onto Carl Frampton, and I don't think we'll be going there in this video. But yeah, the fight will be announced, and I'm expecting a frustrated man, at the very least, in Deontay Wilder when these two guys meet. As for Anthony Joshua, it's changed my thoughts a little bit, I have to admit. I don't think, and I've said it before, I'm not saying Anthony Joshua, the man, is ducking Deontay Wilder. But ultimately, Lennox Lewis did say, you have to stand up for yourself if you really want a fight against your own promoter. You have to make it be known, this is the guy I want to fight. And then, of course, there's no doubt to me there's an element of this. Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, and I don't blame him, it's the job. He's a terrific promoter, Eddie Hearn. I'm not knocking him. But to a certain extent, they are trying their best to protect their product for as long as it's in its prime. And the longer that we go without a fight, Deontay Wilder gets older. So it's more of an advantage for Anthony Joshua, who is probably not in his prime yet as a heavyweight. But I just don't think they thought in a million years that fight may be taken from him completely. Because if Tyson Fury beats Deontay Wilder, then the public will want the big domestic showdown. Fury, Joshua, right? And of course, there is all this love for Anthony Joshua. He is sort of the PC brigade, isn't he? He says nothing that upsets anyone. But that act wears thin with people. I'm expecting if Tyson Fury got that far to sign a fight against Anthony Joshua, the public will start to turn a little bit. Look at the votes. Are you telling me, politically, in this nation, right now, what was politically correct about Brexit and voting out of the EU? Nothing, but people voted for it. Let's go to the United States. Is Donald Trump the most politically correct politician you've ever seen? Is he Barack Obama? No, he's not. But he was voted in. Don't underestimate the public's diversity to think. Don't think that just because you're always playing the politically correct scenario that everybody is sat on your couch, because they're not. And in fact, more and more now, every day it's being proven that the politically incorrect are starting to get the majority in society. So Tyson Fury, if he beats Deontay Wilder, the power and the WBC title and the lineage of the heavyweight division is with him. And he can say X, Y, Z, and now he will start to be validated by the public. And the politically correct side will just look like they're picking fancy words but don't mean them. The public is not stupid. You, the boxing fans, are not stupid. I can be stupid at times, I'll admit that. But anyway, hope you enjoy the event tomorrow. This is Champions of Champions Boxing Talk. I'm out.